Kodak. This is my module 5 response. So far, my thoughts about the reading: Michelle McNamara's I'll Be Gone in the Dark it's a pretty dark story, and my understanding on her background is, as a child, her neighbor was murdered and the killer was never discovered, so this sparked her interest, I presume, in writing crime novels, and this one being a narrative. I don't know if all her writings are narratives, but I think this one's interesting, and you can also see her passion for the crime novels with how much detail and gruesome things she's willing to include, because these things really took place. Some of the things that were done by the Golden State Killer, and I won't get into detail because it makes my stomach turn, some of it. But she includes that. She doesn't hide it or filter it at all. She's all in that. So, going into a classmate's post, I looked at Emma England's post is the one I wanted to include for this, because she gives a good background on the Golden State Killer and the media coverage. So at first, in the Sacramento area, the Golden State Killer was known as the East Area Rapist. So that's interesting when connecting the history of someone. If you were to just look up the Golden State Killer, you may only get 80% of it, the story and all his crimes. But maybe if you also knew to look up East Area Rapist, as well as the Visalia Ransacker, because that, in her third paragraph, is another name that the figure was known as, because it's an unknown killer, so the media kind of gives it a catchy name, or a name that everyone knows, like, oh, that's the slasher, or something like that. And I also liked her post because it was a historical context, and I felt like I was learning by reading her post, because I didn't know these things about the Golden State Killer. I've heard about the Golden State Killer, but I really saw just how brutal it was. The part that really made me like, wow, was when the detective was killed trying to protect his daughter from being abducted. And that shows how savage the Golden State Killer was. And in this case, they knew him as the Visalia Ransacker. So that's why I picked this post. And it's very interesting to consider what makes a person that motivated to do crime, especially a crime, this kind of crime where it's only to terrorize other people. There's not a money-making motive or anything like that. That's my post. Thank you.